I talked to Ken Hitchcock last night. I told Ken that he would not be the coach of the Edmonton Oilers in 1920. I did talk to his assistants today to inform them that I had told Ken I'm going to start a process here immediately. That would be my number one priority, obviously, in the next few weeks, to find the next head coach of the Edmonton Oilers. At the same time, what I want to do is talk to as many people as I can. Talk to Bob. I talked to Ken Hitchcock last night. I've talked to the coaches. I'm trying to gather information as I go about the process of making decisions, what to do with staff. And as we lead, this is the time of the year in the National Hockey League. You make your moves from probably the 20th of June to early July through whatever trades you can make at the draft. Obviously, the draft, July 1st free agency. So this is the period of time when you're doing your planning. Next week we're going to have amateur meetings, pro meetings. I look forward to meeting all those people, and I will make some decisions. I do expect to have some change. I'm not going to give you a time frame on change, but I do expect to have some change, and I look forward to working with all you going forward.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. We're going to jump into the Q&A now. Let's go up front here, Ryan.
Ken, Ryan Rashog with TSN. Maybe just right to the on-ice product, your thoughts on the biggest needs this team has and what a realistic timeline is for playoff hockey.
Well, I would say to you, my hope is, Ryan, my hope is that I can come in and provide stability, select a coach that's going to have a real impact on this team. And I'd like to think we're talking playoffs in 1920. When you look at the, some of the young players on this team, I know they missed the playoffs by 10 points, but I think he got off to a tough start. And then, unfortunately, over the course of the season, Bob had to Peter let the coach go, and then Bob let the manager go. And I think those are distractions for the players. So I'm hoping that the stability that I can provide will allow the players to play. And my thought is that we're going to compete for a playoff spot in 1920. At the same time, we want to build, we want to grow. It's more than just about making the playoffs. It's about trying to make the playoffs year after year after year, and then go on some playoff runs. And that's where you need, obviously, building blocks. I've got my thoughts on the team. Certainly, there's a great core. I have to build around that core, and we're going to go down to Bakersfield, San Diego playoff tomorrow night, Game 3 and Game 4 tomorrow and Friday, Saturday hopefully. And I'd like to look at some of the players down there. I've seen Bouchard play junior. I've seen Sam Marukov play junior. Those are two players that I was at the World Junior, and I was out scouting this year for the Red Wings. So I've seen some of the young players that the Oilers have in their system, and there's some good young players. I believe in player development. I believe in time in the minors, Mike Babcock used to say, Ken Holland would say, overripe. I believe that the National Hockey League is the toughest league in the world, and if you put young players in the league too quick, more likely that they're going to fail than succeed. So we've got to find some. I think we got a core up front. Got to figure out how to surround them properly, and then look at the defense. Certainly, you got a goaltender. Got to probably have to get another goaltender. And again, priority one is to find a coach.
Is it easier as a general manager to come in when you've got Draisaitl and McDavid, and you don't have to find star players? You can build down the lineup as opposed. And the other question is, why not Ken Hitchcock as coach?
Yeah, good. Absolutely. I mean, obviously, they're two young superstars. I mean, I don't know, they're 21 and 22 or 22 and 23. Connor is, maybe the greatest young player in the game with everything he's accomplished. And I think his better days are ahead of him still. He's not even in his prime yet. Leon had 50 goals and a great second half. So obviously two massive building blocks. And why not Ken Hitchcock? I just think coming in here, this is an opportunity for me to make change. And I talked to Ken last night. certainly I'm going to talk to Ken. I've known Ken for a long, long time, back to the early 90s when I was the chief scout of the Detroit Red Wings, and he was coaching Kamloops. I used to go talk to him about his players. So I've got a relationship going back 25, 30 years with Ken. I just think it was time to make change, and an opportunity for me to go through a process and hire a coach. If I hired Ken, it's probably another year. I'd like to find a coach that I can go to work with. I hired Mike Babcock. I worked with Mike for 10 years. Before Mike, I had Dave Lewis for 2 years, and I've hired Jeff Blashill, and this is year 4. I like to build a relationship. I build a relationship and go to work, and again, it's going to be up and down. It's going to be up and down. It's never smooth sailing, and I need to find a coach that we're going to work with. We're going to bunker in, and we're going to go to work with one common goal. And I just think it was time. This is an opportunity for me to go through that process to find that coach.